if it wasn't for the internet, my pussy was packing bags. She was like, look, it's been real. But
It's pussy next door.
So, okay, so today we're talking about pussy went to the doctor. So they write, pussy is going to the doctor. So, what has your experience been with pussy and doctors? What, if anything, have you gained from the experience? If you want to share, like, what the struggle was, what the solution was, and then ultimately, what was the aftermath? Yeah. Looking at that whole pussy going to the doctor experience from the start to the finish.
Oh, I mean, like, for me, as I've shared in previous episodes, like the whole yeast infection thing, me experiencing my first yeast infection and what that entailed and going through that whole experience. Since then, though, gaining the knowledge from my OBGYN, bless you, gaining the knowledge from my OBGYN and what, that all entails. One, I'm more aware. Two, I know what a yeast infection feels like now. And then also, I kind of know like the questions to ask.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so do I like I'm able to better explain myself when I go to the doctor. It's like, okay, I'm noticing that I've been feeling uncomfortable. I have vaginal discharge.
Right.
There's an itch. There's no odor.
Right.
And I'm able to use all these adjectives
Yeah.
to express what's going on with me now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I think going through that experience and then sitting with my OBGYN and just kind of going through like, okay, how did this happen? And actually just sitting in his office. Yes, my OBGYN is a man. Sitting in his office and just talking about it. And then kind of like him just giving me so much knowledge.
Yeah.
And then his wife being the nurse, and she came in and gave me even more knowledge. And so being like, an adult teen at the time, it was just one of those things where it's just like, I needed that. And so the experiences when I take my pussy to the doctor has been very good experiences. Like what are y'all experiences?
But me, Lord, I feel like actually you said knowing what to ask, knowing what question to ask. I think that is so freaking valuable. Like, and that comes with experience, knowing what to ask your doctor, and also knowing what not to listen to. And that is a tough line, like, because it's already kind of this nebulous lane to learn about your pussy. Like, even going into the area of learning about pussy, and then being able to learn about pussy, and then being able to say like, oh, learning your own pussy, how your own pussy reacts to you, and then if there's a problem with your pussy, knowing what the problem is, and then being like, oh, I know exactly what this is. Maybe I don't have the words for it. Maybe I don't know what it is, but I know what the fuck this is. And then
My pussy.
translate, right? It ain't mine. And then going to the doctor and being like, hey, I feel you. Like, remember the doctor got to say, like, tell the doctor, hey, this is what's going on. And they'll do another checkups and be like, okay, this is what I think it is. And then sometimes you're like, okay, could be this. But like, I was here 3 times before and it can't still be this because we already did the things to like fix this, but it's not this yet. So what's going on? Yeah. So it's like being able to know that line of where like to say like, I don't know, this ain't right. Excuse me, doctor. Like, professionally, I feel you. But for me in this moment, this ain't working for me.
Yeah.
So I need something else. Or like I need to know where I can be held in this space to understand like what's going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of that I find is searching. And thank God for the flipping Mother's stinking internet, because if it wasn't for the internet, my pussy would fell off.
Wasn't for the internet. My pussy was packing bags. She was like, look, it's been real. But, you know, if you don't figure this out, 2 weeks. Oh my God. It was like I fucked a flight. She had a little visor on. Listen. I think that, first of all, like you're saying, there are a slew of conditions that women can be experiencing that we don't commonly hear about. So I've learned about things like vulvodynia, what's the one? Cytolytic vaginosis, prolapse, right? And then just like pelvic floor issues, right? If someone's having any like leaking or any type of pain during sex or things like that. There's so many like holistic elements to the vagina that unfortunately or fortunately, whatever, are like not treated with a pill. And we know how the pharmacy works and how a lot of this works is it's like if there's not a pill to give you that costs $60 or whatever, then somebody doesn't make their money, this and that. So again, like absolutely to the research. There's some Instagram influencers who like I swear by, and they're not trying to sell me something. They're just literally trying to like put me on. And I feel like in the past with some of my doctor visits, lots of times there's this creeping in element of like shame. So if I'm coming in and I'm like, hey, I think I got a yeast infection or something's not feeling right, what do I have going on? I often feel, and maybe I'm sensitive to it, but I feel like there's often this interrogation around like, when's the last time you had sex? And the person that you're having sex with, and sex and sex and sex and sex, right? And I'm like, look, I went to the gym and then I feel good. And I'm trying to explain that like this seems to have occurred in its own regard. And then I don't find it related to sex, or I'm not experiencing issues related to sex. And like being believed sometimes, it can be like a frustrating experience. It just seems to get narrowed down to like, this is either yeast, this is either BV, and it's probably related to sex. And trying to kind of like push back against that and be like, no, actually, I think something's irritating me. Like, a detergent or a product. I think, you know, it might be possible that like I gotta hang up my thongs for now, you know what I mean? Something like that. Or I'm in a new climate where there's like 100% humidity and it's 110 degrees in the summer and my coochie is like wet, like, you know what I mean? No. So yeah, I've experienced some things that feel like minimizing, and I'm like, no, can we be a little more expansive in what could possibly be going on?
Yeah. And like for you guys, like, is there, like Lindsay was discussing, like, is there a time that you've been to the doctor and it feels like you have to convince your doctor that it's not your partner or your activity,
Right.
sexual activities, I say activities, like sexual activity,
Right.
like, have you ever experienced that before? Like, is there something where you feel like you had to be like, oh, give me listen.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so, and I think we've all been through that. Like, and I mentioned earlier that I had a male OBGYN. I've been with this OBGYN for how long? 10, 12, 13, 15, 16 years, right? Maybe even more than that. And before him, I was with another OBGYN who was a one. And I just feel like she didn't listen. Like, she was like, I got it too, bitch. Shut up. You know, and it was just kind of like, you know, like, one, already being in, like, I started receiving pap smears when I was, like, 17. And so, I remember going to her and she just made me feel very uncomfortable. Like, she was just kind of like, you know, like, the nurse was very kind. She was like, all right, just lay down and go down and change your bottoms. And when you're ready, just kind of like push a button. They had like a little button for me to ring. And so the doctor comes in and she's like really like quick and rough with it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, and mind you, I mean, I've been to clinics where the doctor or nurse is a lot more gentle than this fucking OBGYN doctor, like, right? And so, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, I got good insurance. Why the fuck she treating me like this? I'm like, what the fuck? You know? And she was like, that's the cake. Right. Like, this is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got some good ass insurance. And she was like, the only thing she said that was comforting was like, take a deep breath in, the pumps are going in. And this is like a pap smear. So y'all know pap smears. And so, but then it was like, you know, she's like doing everything and it's like, and I'm like, you know, I'm on the table and my bottom half is like kind of like, what the fuck, like being so rough? You know what I'm saying? And she had made the comment, she was like, you're going to be okay. Like, I know how it feels too. And I'm just like, bitch, no. Like, just because you got a vajayjay doesn't mean that your vajayjay is like my vajayjay. Right. So, like, mine is gentle. I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm done with her. And so then, like, you know, it's time, like a year passes and it's time for me to go for my annual again. And my mom was like, okay, it's time. The doctor's called. Time for you to go for your annual. And I'm like, I'm going to go back to her.
Right.
And my mom was just like, all right, well, you got one or two choices. You can go through the catalog of who has our insurance and look for an OBGYN. Or you can call the insurance and they can tell you who accepts our insurance and who's closest in proximity or whatever like that, right? And I was like, okay, whatever. So, like, I did my due diligence. I, like, went through the whole, like, catalog. And then I also called, too. So I'm like, let me see what they say. And so I winded up finding this one doctor, Dr. Mabey, shout out. Yeah, Dr. Mabey. Yeah. And he has like hella daughters himself. Like him and his wife, like they had I think like 6 kids. So 5 daughters and like 1 boy. Right. And so like and it was one of those things where it's just like he was understanding, he listened, and he was a doctor that was just like, you know, with the whole yeast infection thing, like, you know, like this is what it is. And, you know, I know you went to the ER and they want to be careful. Let's talk about this. Like, so then that way we can get the vocabulary up. We can really see like how you feel. And then come to find out, like the reason why I got my first yeast infection was I went on a cruise. And the humidity along with the sand, the seawater, the bathing suit, and hiking and all of the water activities, like, just sent me over. Yeah. Granted, I didn't get the yeast infection until, like, 3 days after I came back, but because my body was trying to acclimate itself, hence the yeast. And so, and he wasn't, like, his questions weren't, like, are you having sex? He's like, what activities have you been doing? Did you travel lately? And, you know what I'm saying? Did you go for a hike? Are you bike riding? Like, it was, like, things like that. And I was just like, bike riding? What do you mean bike riding? You know? And he, like, explained this whole thing about like, bike riding. And
listen, that's amazing. Oh, if you explain that.
Yeah, and, like, he went through all this stuff, and he was, like, really educating me. And all right, cool. So now, like, I have all the adjectives for the pussy. And when she must act dysfunctional.
Right.
Or would she say no?
We can figure out what she needs. The bike riding is so interesting because, like, women's bike riding is a sport where my understanding is a lot of women can suffer. And I've read some articles from, like, women, I don't know if you call them, like, Olympic, but competitive bike riding. And the seat and the structure of a bike is still developed for the anatomy of a man or the physiology of a man, is my understanding.
This is.
And so the impact on the pussy is serious. And some women have major, I'm talking about major complications. I was fascinated to learn that. Another thing you mentioned was, it might have left me for a second, Did you have anything to add? Well, I try to bring that back.
All right, bring it back. I was thinking about like how different doctors has different sets of skills,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
being aware and knowing like, okay, I've been with this doctor for 3 years, and we ain't getting nowhere. Like,
Yes.
having the ability, having the know-how, having the courage to say like, okay, my kid to go as someone who go. But
Yeah.
actually, I really would like to have a second thing. I really like to have a meeting with the doctor. And sometimes for me, that's been like with your hospitals. That's been like, okay, and sometimes it's been like going to two people at the same time. For real, absolutely. Like, okay, let's see what y'all talking about. Okay, you talking about way different stuff, and you talking about this. Yeah, well, do I?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my money. Yeah, like, yeah.
Being empowered to get that second opinion. Absolutely.
But let's talk about like holistic, because like these are the things that like really has been, you know what I mean? And like, pussy has been like really loving like understanding cycles, understanding that like the anatomy, like during your time your pussy is different.
Yeah.
It's different, look different, feel different, how different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
But like pussy is different throughout different parts of your
Yes.
Yeah. And for me, knowing that, I found like a lot of peace in the normal, like knowing like shit, like my pussy's not fucking up. It's just different times. It's just different times. And that has actually brought me a lot of peace and cooperation to like know and listen to my pussy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, maybe something's not right, you know?
Yeah.
Just gotta, wait.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying to wait if you know,
Of course.
yeah.
Of
But I'm saying like, if you like curious, want to see what's going on,
Yeah.
then like kind of be mindful of the cycles.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe cycle tracking. That's what's helped me a lot.
That's good. That's good. Me, I've used my little app. And usually, I know when I'm ovulating or what I'm due on. Like I still count my days for what I'm due on and things like that. And just the different phases in which I'm in. But I notice that sometimes using an app doesn't work. Like I have to actually like just go off of my body.
Yeah.
That's real. And I remember this girl, I went to school with her and she was talking about ovulation. And in her culture, she was first generation Nigerian, right? In America. And she was talking about like how they track their, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. So how they track their ovulations. And like she was talking about like the feeling, like each side
Wow.
of like your pelvic bone. And so like now I know when I'm ovulating because it alternates. It'll be the right side 1 month, the left side the other month. But it's very sensitive.
There's so much. Really?
Yeah. So whenever
So one side gotta
Letting go of it.
yeah. So sometimes you'll feel it or you'll be like, why am I cramping? I can't even do one. But when you feel sensitive on one side, you're ovulating. So really pay attention.
Yes, there's so much that we can know and influence that's outside of like the standard healthcare system. Yeah. Western standard healthcare. Yeah.
Yeah. And just being in tune with your motherfucking self. Like being in tune with your pussy. Just be in tune with your pussy. I mean, I know Cat Williams said be in tune with your motherfucking self. But I'm going to say be in tune with your pussy.
Yeah.
It's a practice.
It is.
Oh,
It takes time.
practice.
Does take time.
That's a wrap for today, y'all.
Oh,
We may still need
y'all be sure to tune in to the after hours. And like always, what are you talking to your squad about? Is this something that you guys feel comfortable to discuss with one another? And if not, maybe you can be the person to start it off. Like, I mean, go ahead and chat with your friends. Like, we learn from one another. We are a community, and the more we know from one another, the more we'll be able to go into these doctors' offices and adjectives, or symptoms that we know. So then that way they can check and help us. You know what I'm saying? And so I encourage y'all all. And until next time, we'll see y'all. I'm Davina, and you can find me at Just Davina on IG.
I'm Lindsay at Empower Proof.
I breathed that. Okay, and this is your pussy next door. Until next time, peace.